Okay, Roll Right Radio's podcast for today, the last day of February 2021, February 28th. Here we go. And, Roll Right Radio's podcast, okay, has been, we've been on this for a couple of months now. The following is growing. We really appreciate it. And so what I want to do on the YouTube is two things. First thing I want to do is kind of summarize what we've been talking about this week. It's been a heck of a week. It culminates today with Donald Trump, President Trump, talking at CPAC, it's huge. This is, the convention of, conservative people. And it's interesting, as we get closer and closer to CPAC, we hear more and more about who Donald Trump is talking to. And a lot of people, especially the people that want to see division, people that want to just, say the Republican Party is divided, saying he's talking to Republicans. But a lot of other people are saying, no. Donald Trump's constituency, if you want to call it that, the America First crowd, are patriots, Democrats, Republicans, independents, everything else. His message isn't a message of partisan politics the way we're used to partisan politics. Oh, if you're a Democrat all the way. All those Democrats. No, and the same thing with the Republicans. That's why there's such a divide. Because what Trumpism is, what following Donald Trump's lead is, he's a businessman who's a patriot who says, hey, America first. If you're running a business, you can't just do things that aren't beneficial to the business. If it's negative to the business, it's going to hurt the business in any way, shape, or form. You don't want to do it. You don't want to hurt your bottom line. America's bottom line is our freedom. And I see that as we get closer to CPAC's, finale today with Donald Trump, I'm expecting a unifying message. Not a message of saying, like people have been saying to me Trump's going to start a Patriot Party. It's going to be a new party. It's going to start a new... No! He's going to leave the Republican Party intact and lead it and hopefully open the doors for that party for everybody. It's not that we want to divide people and identify people as black or gay, as brown or Hispanic or Jewish or Catholic. No. We want to identify everybody as Americans. And we want to make sure, I'm not speaking for the party, I'm speaking for what my belief is of this party as it has been reconstituted by following Donald Trump's lead. And that is a party for everybody. And yes, there are reasons to go after segments of the economy and say to them, hey, look, here's a Rick Grinnell, who's a major player in the Republican Party, and he's been a major player all throughout Trump's 4-year term, and before that, actually. But here's this man, and people are talking about, hey, he's in California. He's even saying he might run for governor of California. Now we got, Faulkner and Cox, and now Grinnell. You're talking about a serious challenge. The man is totally gay, has been from the very beginning. But we don't talk about it that way because we don't really care. And that's the same thing. So we want to reach out to the gay community, the LGBT, whatever you want to call it. But do we want to agree with all of their policies? Do we want to say that you have to agree with everything they talk about, especially when you talk about transgender and transgender whatever, guidance on drugs and other things to minors, especially the minors without their parents' permission. And even after you give, you get parental permission, if you do, don't you want to get those people counseling and make them understand? This is a big thing. So we don't just blindly follow everybody's lead. The black community, I think that's, in my lifetime, I grew up, Willie Mays and Jackie Robinson and Hank, when you talk about athletes, you talk about, Sammy Davis, everywhere I turn around and look, in my neighborhood, Johnny Leonel, Stanley Dickinson, some of my best friends growing up, people I hang out with today. So what? But because we want to say, hey, vote Republican. Don't feel that should be, especially because Democrats were the party of slavery. They were the party of everything that divided this country. Segregation in the South, Jim Crow laws. That was all Democrat. The Republicans weren't the ones. Governor Wallace, he was a Democrat, for crying out loud. That's what the South was. That's what created this segregated society, that unsegregated. Now they seem to want to resegregate again, only the opposite way. Well, yes, I want this big I want every black patriot, I want everybody that believes in what I believe in, the freedom to jump in and vote Republican so we get back what we had under Donald Trump, whether or not it's Donald Trump in 2024. If he wants to run and he's there, and I'll probably vote for him. But there are some other people in this party that I would vote for. Maybe it's a Tim Scott. I don't know. But does that mean I'm going to embrace every policy, every part of what the black community is putting out? Hell no. Because the racism that I see coming from that community, it's a small segment of that community, but critical race theory, CRT, baloney. That is just not something that I or any other American should ever accept, especially as it's being taught in schools, indoctrinating white kids, that you have white privilege, or to, as Coca-Cola said, I don't think I'll ever drink another Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola product, be less white. No, I don't think so. So yes, we want to jump in and grab people from every segment of America. They're Americans. It's a melting pot. It's not a salad bowl. It's a melting pot. That's what we talked about this week. Did we talk about it that specifically? No. Me and Alex talked about the Reddit situation with the Robinhood, hedge fund situation, what's going on with that, and how important free markets are, how important it is to keep those markets free, how stupid it is to listen to what those Democrats were talking about, especially Maxine Waters saying that, well, if you lose money in the market, you should get a refund. Come on, man. So that's what we were talking about. And I hope you listen in this week. I'll be on the road, actually, getting my second COVID vaccination on Monday morning, 10 o'clock, thanks to my wife, Katrina. I couldn't get it done. I was scheduled for the end of the week, and I'm trying to leave for Daytona, but I wanted to get that second shot before I left, so she got me set up to get it done on Monday morning at 10 o'clock. And then I'm going to leave Tuesday morning, so I'm going to do the podcast from the road. It'll be good. I mean, I hope it'll be good if it's ever good. And that's it. That kind of sums up the week. Do we have a lot to be concerned about in America with this Joe Biden presidency? Yeah, we do. If you haven't been able to follow and understand all the issues that we have to be concerned about, pushing through a 1.9 trillion COVID release package that 9% goes to COVID relief, I think you should be concerned if only because it's just like Obamacare. It went through with 0 Republican votes. It was totally partisan. It's just never healthy. Look, I don't care. I'm not thinking that you're going to get an overwhelming amount of Republicans, but I think you should get a token amount of Republicans to say, okay, we're gonna step across the line. So many people will. I mean, you would hope it would have a strong percentage to really be called bipartisan. And had Obamacare passed in that way, and of course you have Nancy Pelosi, I would hope that you Democrats feel the same way we do. She's just got to be starting to grate on you. I mean, when she said, back when they did pass Obamacare, well, if you want to find out what's in it, you got to pass it, then you could read it. I mean, that was pretty bad. And everybody's, okay, well, she's been that way ever since on everything else as well. So, it's like an in your face. And now two Democrats crossed over and voted no along with the Republicans. No Republicans went to the other side. Get back to the table. I think it was 219 to 210 or 212. So that's not enough. We send you people, we elect you and send you to Washington to work for the whole country, not just for the Democrats, not just for the Republicans. Get together on this. Can't you agree to cooperate on this thing? $1.9 trillion? The Republicans are saying that 900 billion or whatever, and they're saying 1.9. Can't you come someplace 1.4? Come on, let's do something. Let's take off some of this stuff. You're putting millions and millions into museums, some bridge in Silicon Valley, for crying out loud, can afford their own bridge. These people are running the country. They're dictating the fact that we don't have freedom of speech. Because if they don't like what you say, they're going to take you off Twitter. They're going to take you out of Facebook. Who are these people to say and do that? And we don't have a government strong enough to say, wait a minute, you have to respect people's freedom of speech. There's a place that we should be meeting at that point. And there's a place where we should be meeting on this COVID relief bill. $1.9 trillion. Now? Oh yeah, sure. It says, here's what Jack Reed said, and he's a Democrat I respect, a former Special Forces guy. He's out of Rhode Island. Been in that Senate for a long, long time. But, he said, well, it's going to do the job. Yeah, it's going to do the job. If you want to spend $100 and something thousand on a Mercedes-Benz or whatever to get from here to work and back every day, that's going to definitely do the job. You could do the same thing, though. You could do the same thing in a little Ford Fiesta or something. I don't know, a Chevy Cruze. It'll get the job done. Of course it will. If you can't do it for 1.9 trillion, you'll get the schools open. You'll get the vaccinations. You'll get all those states that are falling behind, New York and California and other blue states, Michigan specifically. You'll get all that opened up and done if that's your goal. But you don't need $1.9 trillion to do it, Jack. Yeah, Jack, of course you'll get it done with that much. You want to drop the atomic bomb on whatever and, to win the war? I don't think so. I don't think so. You want to use an appropriate response. The appropriate response right now is getting people. What happened to the $2,000 number that Donald Trump said? It's $1,400. Well, if you take the $1,400, put it with the $600, that's the $2,000. No, that's gobbledygook. That's just baloney. That's politicians' talk. What happened to the $2,000 that Trump proposed? It was going to be $2,000 per person of people who are needy of it. Not somebody that, not everybody in the country gets it. I think if you make under $75,000, whatever the criteria is, what happened to $2,000? Now it's $1,400, but we're up to $1.9 trillion. It's such a big number. It's just not right. People got to go to work. Let people get back to work. Let these places be open. Let the restaurants be open. And by the way, you want to also talk about this $15 minimum wage? Who's getting the $15 minimum wage? Amazon wants to pay that money to beat up everybody else. But what about the waiters and waitresses and bartenders and people that, make money on tips? You want us to start thinking, wait a minute, I'm paying her. She's getting $15 an hour. Somebody that goes out to a restaurant, local hamburger joint, they're working, like crazy to get $18 to $20 an hour, been on the job 7, 8 years, kind of professional at the retail business they're in or whatever they're doing. And here's a waitress working 3 or 4 tables, getting $15 an hour. And if each table is $60. A table of 4, it's not much to expect, $60. That's a $12 tip from 4 tables every hour that it turns over. You do the math. What, at what point are people going to start getting? That's why Europe doesn't tip. You got to remember that. You go around the world, you travel a little bit, people look at you like you're crazy if you're an American. It's like, what do you Americans do? We're coming into our culture and trying to turn everything upside down. You think you could buy that guy off? He's going to give you better service and take care of your table and not mine? Yeah, we do. That's the way it works. You know, in America, a tip is to ensure prompt service. That's what tips do. They ensure prompt service. So you do it, but it's not in style and hasn't been in style for a long time in the rest of the world. And we're going to get that way. You keep on paying, let the government set the wages. You're going to find a lot of things that are going to change in America. They're going to start setting the work weeks and all the rest of it. Because you give them a finger, they're going to take a hand. That's exactly what's going to happen. The more power you give to the government, the more power they're going to use. And they're going to find power to do things that at the end of the day, it's just going to cause more disruption. Look with France, they got a 4-day work week. They got all these benefits. They got all these vacations. They've been on strike. It's not what makes you happy. The self-satisfaction of accomplishment is what makes you happy. And in America, you could do that. You have the freedom to do that. You don't want what they have in Europe. You really don't. If you looked hard at it, you'd see that. So, hey, I've been rambling a long time. We've been going for a long time. I didn't want to ramble that long today. So we're going to cut this short. Listen, subscribe and give us a like. If you like it. If you don't like it, I get that. But if you like what we're trying to do here on Roll Right Radio and on our YouTube channel, give us a like, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe. We're trying to build this, and your subscription and your likes and any replies, positive replies only, we really appreciate it. It's going to help us continue we're going to keep growing. We're going to keep going. We want you to be there with us, and we appreciate you being there with us side by side. Like and subscribe. Thank you. I'm New York Myke. Roll Right Radio, baby. Coming into March, heading to Daytona.